What is up, guys? It is AJ. On today's video, we're talking Bellator 290. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Main event, Ryan Bader rematches Fedor Emelianenko. It's also Fedor's final fight. Looking forward to breaking this one down. I'm going to start from the first fight of the night, work our way up all the way to the main event. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Let's jump into the first fight of the night. Ethan Hughes versus Yusuf Karakaya. I'm picking Ethan Hughes here. He's a more well-versed mixed martial artist. Karakaya definitely is the better pure striker of the two. He fought as a pro kickboxer, fought in professional Muay Thai. He actually has a fight with Nicky Holtzkin. He got absolutely annihilated in that fight, but that's an extremely high-level guy to stand across from in the ring. Ethan Hughes is a clear-cut grappling advantage here. If he can take this fight to the floor, he can win this bout. I feel as though he's going to find a way to get Yusuf on the mat, and I think he's going to find a way to get the submission. I'm going with Ethan Hughes by sub. In Yusuf's lone MMA fight, it was against a fellow kickboxer. He was able to win that fight by submission. He closed the gap, took him down, took his back, rear naked, choked him. Ethan Hughes, if he puts any trouble on Yusuf Karakaya in the stand-up, there's no other option. Now, I do think Karakaya is going to have the better striking game, but you can't completely sleep on Ethan Hughes. Decent jab, moves pretty well, definitely well-timed takedowns he can mix in. When they go to the floor, the jiu-jitsu advantage is a real one here. Now, he's a little bit smaller than Karakaya because also Yusuf is standing at 6 foot. Ethan Hughes around 5'9". I got to go Ethan Hughes to win, though. He's clearly the more well-versed fighter, and I'm riding with his side to start the night off here at Bellator 290. Karakaya minus 138, Hughes upwards of plus 120. I like Ethan Hughes to win. I think moneyline is your best bet, but I will look into the props real quick and talk about potentially the submission one. It's sitting at plus 400 for Hughes to win by sub. I do think there's a really good chance this fight goes under 2.5. That's around minus 138, best value, depending where you're playing it. Moneyline, your best option if you are looking to throw down on it, but you're risking it a lot because you're betting on Bellator early prelims. Would I advise to do that? No, I highly advise you don't. Granted, I think Ethan Hughes has a skill set advantage in a specific area, particularly the grappling, and it seems pretty clear cut that if they go to the floor, he'll find a win by submission. As far as straight stand-up goes, obviously his opponent's difficult to deal with. But we're riding with Ethan Hughes to get it done. He just beat a legit dude that was supposed to be the next big wrestler on the come-up in Mohamed Fauzi Sebi. That was over a year ago. Won that fight. Third-round knockout, ground and pound. It was a good performance. It was one that he was able to, weather a storm from a good wrestler and then finish him later. Ethan Hughes was throwing up sub-attacks from the bottom. If you're on the ground with him, you are putting yourself at risk, especially when you only have one pro fight and it's only against a kickboxer. Going with the more well-rounded guy. Also note Ethan Hughes was a 4-0 amateur MMA fighter, and now he's 3-0 in professional MMA. The dude's experienced in cage fighting. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Isaev Hokit versus Peter Ishiguro. I got to go with Isaev Hokit. I believe he's, full-time in the fight game, whereas Ishiguro on the other side, he has not fought in a while. What's it been? Over 3 years? Nearly 3.5 years since he last fought. 2-1 as a pro, good grappling game. He's actually a former Boston University wrestler, so he can definitely do well on the floor. Problem is, he's fighting a guy that has a vastly superior pure wrestling game, seems to have a fantastic gas tank, very good pressure fighter with high volume. Isaev Hokit, I think, wins this fight. I'm feeling stoppage. I think knockout in the second or third round. Ishiguro, I think, can be more competitive early, but as the fight goes on, you're going to see the level difference as far as the cardiovascular capabilities. And I think Isaev Hokit, his potential a little bit higher. And don't also underestimate the size difference. 5'10", 5'6", when you got both guys that have, grappling specialist style games, I feel like Isaev Hokit will be able to manhandle Ishiguro. Yeah, he does have solid jiu-jitsu. I've seen he does some jiu-jitsu competitions, but not the same level as fighting in that Bellator cage recently. We haven't seen him in over 3 years. Isaev Hokit, he lost a bad debut, but he's building himself up now. And you know what? He's looking pretty decent. He seems in very good shape. He seems to want it bad. I like his pressure. I like the wrestling base. And I think it's going to be a big problem for Peter Ishiguro. So I'm riding with Isaiah Hokit to win. I'm going to say he gets it done. Knockout. Thinking second or third round. Wouldn't blow my mind if it is ground and pound. Ishiguro potentially gassing out a little bit later in this fight. So we like Hokit. Definitely win. Inside distance is maybe something. He's sitting around minus 356. Ishiguro around plus 290. Excuse me, plus 390. Let's see. Hokit to win inside of the distance. Let's look at that. That's minus 115. I think that's pretty likely. Hokit to win KO TKO plus 160. That's not a fantastic tag. That's probably how he does win it, though. And I think it's got a good shot to go over a round and a half. I'm seeing a plus 105, but I don't think that's very accurate. It's more around that minus 180 range. I like Isaiah Hokit to win. I think he does this. KO TKO, and he stops Ishiguro second or third round, gassing him out. And that pressure bullying style is going to be too much for Ishiguro to deal with here. Let's keep running. Next fight on this Bellator card. Jaylon Bates versus Jornel Lugo. I got to pick Jornel Lugo. Him and Jaylon Bates are really similar fighters. Look at the frames. 5'9", 72.5-inch reach, Lugo. 5'10", 73.5-inch reach, Bates. A year difference in the age. Similar rangy striking styles, but both guys do have good grappling games too and some wrestling for sure. I wasn't super impressed with Jaylon Bates in his last fight. Granted, the duty fight, I believe, was 10-8? 10-7 at the time. Mark Coates. He's one of those guys that will make you look bad. He's very hard to finish. He gave Jaylon Bates a really tricky test and definitely won that third round. I think Jornel Lugo is going to be able to win this fight here. I definitely think he'll take the third round after seeing Bates' last fight. Now, I do think Bates is going to be trying to make adjustments, definitely improve that gas tank, not let opponents get that position on him. But I just think Jornel Lugo matches his length and athleticism, and I think he's the better fighter at this point. He's been in there with the higher level names. Obviously, it's not like he's having the greatest of success against the best. Danny Sabatello, last fight, he loses to. I mean, you can look, the Brian Moore win's not a bad one. Keith Lee's not a bad win. Cass Bell's not a bad win either. Skylar Suto, 4-0. I mean, that was like 2 years ago now. But Jaylon Bates, he hasn't really fought anybody, right? You look at the record, 6'4", 6'4", 1-1, 2-1. This is his biggest fight. And coming off of an extremely close win, which he was visibly disappointed after, not a good option, I don't think. I feel like he loses this one. I'll say Lugo to win. And I think Lugo does win it by a decision. I don't think Bates is getting stopped here. He's still a good prospect, but I think he's biting off more than he can chew with this Lugo fight. Odds minus 273 Lugo. Bates plus 265. I don't really love the prop bet all that much. Maybe over 2.5. It's minus 160. It's okay. Lugo to win by decision, just at plus 120. I mean, it's, you know, it's playable. It's not crazy plus money. Lugo, I think, does win the fight. Be cautious, though, because it is a difficult matchup. These guys are very similar in skill sets and stature, and it's not like Jaylon Bates is a bum. He's a quality fighter that's developing. He's just very young in the game with just 6 pro fights. Lugo, at the very least, he's seen those higher-level looks, whereas Bates has not. So I got to go with Jornel Lugo to win this one. Next fight on the card. Darrion, Caldwell, Nikita, Mikhailov. You know, I was a little bit torn on this one, but I got to go with Darrion Caldwell because Mikhailov in the last fight, he fought Barzola. They both are coming off losses to Enrique Barzola. But Mikhailov, he was controlled on the ground with the grappling most of the time. Darrion Caldwell had moments in the fight against Barzola, obviously gassed and then got stopped late. I feel like you look at the side of Mikhailov, striking the advantages there. The youth, definitely an advantage. But he was getting controlled on the ground by Barzola. Darrion Caldwell had moments against Barzola. I think he'll have big moments here against Mikhailov. I'm obviously a little bit concerned because Caldwell's on a 3-fight losing streak. He doesn't seem to have that same pep in his step that he did some years ago. He's 35 years of age. He's 11 years older than his opponent. I still think he can win this fight with a clear-cut grappling advantage. He's got good length. I think he could lock up a sub. The striking's not going to be easy for Mikhailov either because Caldwell is so long and still pretty explosive and athletic. So I'm going Caldwell to win, and I'll call submission here against a dangerous Mikhailov. Don't be surprised when this dude spins. He throws spinning back kicks. He also will mix up, spinning hammer fists too. So just watch out. Spinning back fist, spinning hammer fist. I guess maybe he could mix a spinning hammer fist in there, but spinning back fist is what I meant. All right, Caldwell, he's sitting at plus 135. So I'm going with the underdog here. Mikhailov minus 153. I like dog money. Darrion Caldwell to get his hand raised. I think he can do it in this matchup. Money line, better attack. But obviously, right, the 35 thing, concern, 3-fight losing streak concern. Still picking him to win, but there are some valid concerns. I like plus 135, though. It's a pretty decent tag for the former champion. Looking at Caldwell to win via submission, it's plus 550. Could be a bit of a Hail Mary sniper. I think it might not be a bad idea if you bet in Bellator. Darrion Caldwell to beat Nikita Mikhailov. Nikita. I'm remixing the name out here. Nikita Mikhailov to lose. His name's getting remixed. I apologize. If he wins this fight, it's going to make me look bad over here, but I'm picking Darrion Caldwell to beat him. Let's keep running. Next fight. Diana Avsaragova versus Alejandra Lara. Well, I said that name terribly. Diana Avsaragova versus Alejandra Lara. Oh, Avsaragova is just not good. I gotta go with Lara. I've been, I kind of flip-flopped a little bit. I have the pick before this. I'm not just doing it off the top of my head, but I'm not super impressed by Lara either. Look at her record, 9-6. But Avsaragova hasn't really fought anybody good, and she's looked kind of crappy. The Gabrielle Goffin fight comes to mind where she barely won. Her last fight, she's fighting a girl that's not even 5 feet tall, coming in on short notice, and she's going the distance. Lara's a pretty strong girl. She could potentially mix in takedowns. She sits in the pocket and bangs, as does Avsaragova. Yeah, I'm going to go Lara to win. I think she could land better punches, and she can mix in takedowns. Diana's a little bit slow inside, too. I feel like she keeps her head in the pocket too long at times. Good movement and footwork. But yeah, I'm going to go Alejandra Lara to win, and I think she's going to do it by a decision here, but risky bet on this one. Lower level women's MMA fight, I say stay away from it if you're looking to make money. Plus 100 for Diana, and then Lara sitting at minus 108. It's a pick'ems fight. Yeah, I don't love the idea of betting it. It probably goes longer, but I don't even like the over 2.5. Lara by decision, that's not plus 400. She's at one spot, but it's like plus 150. Nah, not this fight. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm riding Lara as the official pick here. I think she can pull it off. Let's keep running. Next fight. Neal versus Karl Albrektsson. The pick is Karl Albrektsson. He's a really good technician. I mean, he's been in there with some of the best light heavyweights on planet Earth. Like, look at the names that he's fought against. Win over Vadim Nemkov. Fought against Phil Davis, lost, but still fought Phil Davis. Valentin Moldavsky, lost, still fought Moldavsky. And he also fought Yuri Prohashka, and he lost that fight too. But he's been in there with elite-level talent. He's seen high-level looks, much higher level than Neal is or has seen. I think that Albrektsson should win this one. I know his last fight he lost. But it was one of those weird fights where if he would not have unloaded the gas tank because he went for that finish, and then the bell rung, and he ends up gassing out. He would have won that fight if he just kept his controlled pace and he didn't stun his opponent. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way, and he took a fat L. It was against Carl Moore in that last one. Neal coming off a win against Christian Edwards. I don't think that tells me a ton. Neal's a bullying pressure fighter, but he's not near the technician of Albrektsson. I think he's going to be outstruck on the feet. I think in the grappling exchanges, Albrektsson will have better positioning, and I just see a clean-cut, unanimous decision win for Albrektsson. I think that Neal won't get hurt in this fight, right? His durability, that's going to be a benefit for Albrektsson, not risking, unloading the gas tank and blowing his wad, because that's exactly what happened against Moore. He did almost everything to get the finish. The commentary team thought it was over. Then the fight continues. He was tired, and then he ends up getting rear naked choked. I think he wins this fight, gets back on track. And I mean, you got to think a few wins for Albrektsson, and he could be in that title picture. Having a win over Vadim Nemkov is huge in Bellator. Karl Albrektsson gets it done here. As far as the lines for this one, Albrektsson is minus 135, plus 125 for Neal. I like Albrektsson to win. I just money line it. But I do think he'll win by a decision. I mean, it's not impossible he gets a finish. He hurt more in that last fight, and he does have finishes on the record. Albrektsson plus 210 best value to win by a decision. But I think your better bet, if you're throwing down on Albrektsson, you go money line. He's so much better technically than Neal. Unless weird shit happens, which it did for him in his last fight. Unless weird shit happens back-to-back, I don't see him losing this one. Albrektsson, I'm riding with him. I'm pretty confident he does it. Let's keep running. Next fight. Chris Gonzalez versus Max Rohskopf. The pick is Chris Gonzalez. I cannot pick Max Rohskopf. He lost in the UFC, quitting in the corner in a fight that it's not like he was getting, I mean, he was starting to lose, but it wasn't, completely done yet. So until he shows me that's still not in him, which I believe if it's in you at one point, it probably carries over. I hope he proves me wrong. But against Chris Gonzalez, I don't think he wins this one. If he does it in the future, I could consider picking a Max Rohskopf. But you look at his back-to-back wins in Cage Warriors. The guys are not that good. He was fighting Jeff Creighton, 4-1. Okay, good win. 6-4, wins a decision. That's not impressive at all, and that's over a year ago. Chris Gonzalez just fought against Usman Nurmagomedov. Okay, yeah, he got beaten. Of course he's going to lose that fight. He lost to Yamamuchi. Yamamuchi's a monster. Sayad Awad win. He fought Roger Huerta's a legend. Tokov win. That's an undefeated guy. He should beat a Max Rohskopf. I think Chris Gonzalez can do it here. He's a pretty good athlete, team alpha male fighter. He's seen good wrestlers. Also, he's a southpaw that's pretty long. I guess he's not super long because these guys are about the same height, but it looks like Gonzalez is going to have a bit of an arm length advantage. Yeah, I can't be sold on Rohskopf. Also, if you look at my channel's most popular video, it was one of my early videos. It was reacting to Max Rohskopf quitting in the corner, and that shit blew up. It got I think 60,000 views. And you know what? If you do go back and rewatch it, just know it was recorded on a damn pickle. It was terrible, terrible quality at that time. But those are the old days. Still, can't pick the side of Rohskopf until he shows me something different. I'm going Chris Gonzalez. I think he'll win the fight. I'm going to say 3rd round knockout. I think his kickboxing is pretty good. The wrestling, he'll be able to stop Rohskopf's attempts. Rohskopf will tire, and I think he'll get stopped. Who knows? Maybe he ends up quitting in the corner. I don't know. I hope he doesn't, though. I really hope he doesn't. But if he does, we've seen it before, so it wouldn't be like hey, I'm so shocked. But hopefully he goes the full thing, and if he does lose, he just gets stopped. Rohskopf is plus 170. Gonzalez minus 190. Yeah, we're riding with Chris Gonzalez to win by knockout. The KO prop plus 250. I don't think it's a bad idea. Over 1.5 likely. That's around minus 160. I think Gonzalez should stop him. Not impossible it goes long, but I think Gonzalez knocks him out. And I'm pretty confident Gonzalez wins. I mean, what is he sitting at? What's the exact money line? Minus 190? Yeah, it's not a bad tag either. I think he gets it done against Rohskopf. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Steve Mowry versus Ali Isaev. This was a trickier pick, right? Because you're going Isaev, good fighter, but hasn't fought in 3 years. Mowry, tall as fuck, pretty decent from what we've seen, but he's fought no one good. His last fight, he was fighting somebody good in Moldavsky. Obviously, it was a no contest. He got eye poked, and he ended up bailing out, and that fight ended. He said he couldn't see. Is a 40-year-old or nearly 40-year-old coming off this 3-year layoff? How's he going to look? Because Isaev is more of a wrestler, a guy who needs takedowns. He gets on top and he controls. Mowry is a tall, long guy, but damn, Isaev has a pretty good single leg. I'm picking Isaev to win. I think he's going to find that single leg. I think he's going to put Steve Mowry on his back, and I think he's going to end up TKOing him. Mowry looks good against these lower-level guys. This is the best fighter he's ever fought. Undefeated versus undefeated. I like the matchmaking. I guess Valentin Moldavsky technically might be the best fighter he ever fought, but that doesn't count. It's a no contest. I think you're going to see Isaev land takedowns and get a ground and pound finish. He's heavy on top. I mean, he beat Jared Rosholt, who's pretty decent. Denis Goltsov, who's pretty decent. He has big wins over in PFL. He was the champ. So I got to ride with the former PFL champ to beat Steve Mowry in this one. Long layoff. Some concern, but I'll say that he gets it done. As far as the lines, Mowry's the favorite at minus 125. Isaev plus 115. You don't go against Dagestan very often, and I'm not planning on doing that here. Isaev to win KO, TKO, plus 360. I don't really recommend the props. Maybe you just lightly moneyline Isaev. I'm picking him to get it done. I think he beats Steve Mowry. That wrestling advantage should be pretty evident here. And Mowry's not a super great athlete. He's very long and tall, and he's got decent technical striking skills. I don't think he'll even have the power to keep Isaev off of him. Isaev, with a lot of pressure, gets to Mowry, and he stops him by TKO ground and pound. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Henry Corrales versus Akhmed Magomedov. Come on, OV. You know the pick. Magomedov. He's going to take Corrales down. He's going to beat him up. Henry Corrales is a pretty damn durable fighter. He's got some serious knockout power in his hands. He's explosive as hell. And he's not a guy you can ever sleep on. If he touches your chin, he can knock you unconscious. He was fighting at 135 for a while, and now he's at 45. He looks a lot better, and he seems like he's carrying the power up. I think it's even better up a weight class. But he's not going to be able to stop the chain wrestling of the Dagestani. I think Magomedov to win. He's going to control him on the ground. I think he's going to beat him up, soften him with punches, then eventually he's going to win by rear naked choke. Henry Corrales is a loss to Cupcake Campbell's by submission. I can't be confident that he doesn't get strangled by someone from Dagestan with the OV at the end. Magomedov's pretty good. He's fought decent competition. I like the ability. You know, obviously the power edge is towards Corrales. He's got some mean hooks, man. And he throws with serious pop, but he's going to be on his back, so it doesn't matter. Win, Magomedov via submission. He gets it done. As far as the odds, crazy wide, Dagestan wide. Minus 485, Magomedov, Corrales plus 390. Give me Magomedov all day long. Win by submission from Magomedov is at plus 240. Which is honestly not that wide. It's not that great of a tag. That'd maybe be a little better. But Cupcake Campbell's was able to submit him. You can't tell me he's not getting subbed here. Could it go the distance? Sure. If Magomedov underperforms. But if he performs to level, he will strangle Henry Corrales. And that's what I'm banking on here. Submission win, Magomedov. He gets it done. Let's keep running up this card. More fights, more action. There's a ton of prelims on this card. Lorenz Larkin versus Mukhmad Berkmanov 2. Their first fight was a no contest because Larkin hit him with an elbow to the back of the head in the clinch, and then it was stopped. I got to go Berkmanov. I got to ride with the guy with the better wrestling skills. I think Mukhmad's that guy. Lorenz Larkin's striking is excellent. And it's not like his opponent doesn't have good stand-up too. He's slick from the outside, this being Berkmanov. Pretty good kicking game, pretty fast, can comfortably switch stances. But in the wrestling department, he was able to already get to Larkin their last time. He's had him against the cage. He took him down. Larkin lands the illegal elbow. That's when it ended. It looked like he was on his way to winning a decision. I think Berkmanov's going to do it this time. I think he'll win it on the cards. Larkin's on a tremendous run. 7-fight unbeaten streak in Bellator. He's doing fantastic. But I don't think he beats his opponent in this one. The wrestling edge is a clear advantage, and I don't think Larkin can do it here. He's got big power. He's damn explosive. Good stand-up game, and he's been around for a really long time. But I got to go with the prospect on the rise in Berkmanov. Too well-rounded, and the wrestling advantage clear-cut, and he's going to take advantage of it. We saw it in the first fight. We just didn't see it, to a successful finish. Minus 200, Berkmanov. Larkin, plus 188. Let's see. Decision prop. Do I like the idea of that? Not really. Money line's better. Berkmanov, plus 200 to win via decision. I don't like it. But money line's not bad, and I think the wrestling edge is going to be pretty clear here. He's definitely going to land some takedowns. Next fight. It is our featured prelim of the night. Neiman Gracie, Dante Schiro. I'm picking Dante Schiro. Listen, if that Gracie name was not there, I'm telling you guys, the hype would not be on Neiman. What's his biggest win? It's against a 40-year-old John Fitch. He's coming off a knockout loss to a blown-up lightweight in Yamamuchi, who's an excellent fighter, and I'm a fan of, and I also called that knockout. Before that, Logan Storley beat him. Storley was able to outstrike him. Neiman Gracie does not have head movement. He has minimal striking. He's okay with his hands. He's getting better. He'll knock out some guys for sure. He's not an awful fighter. He's decent level. He's Bellator ranked caliber. But Schiro on the other side is also to that level. Logan Storley struggled with this dude. It was a split decision loss to Storley. We look at his last fight. Okay, he loses to Luka Poslit. The weirdest submission ever. The Lukinator, they called it, because it's never been done before. Neiman Gracie's got excellent jiu-jitsu. He's not pulling off a submission like that. Shiro's got the better wrestling here, and he's definitely faster on the feet, and I think the better striker. He can do damage touching up Neiman Gracie. I don't think he'll knock him out. But let's be real. One thing that's always a factor with the Gracies is they got a little bit of a fragile chin, and that's the truth. All of them. And I think this Gracie here, he got exploited in that last one. Big uppercut knockout. Luckily, he's fighting Schiro, who's not a heavy puncher. A guy with good combination shots, pretty quick, well-rounded athlete, but wrestling is where he shines. I still think Schiro wins the stand-up exchanges. I'm going Schiro for the win. I think he'll win a decision, but it wouldn't blow my mind if he gets a knockout. So I'd say lay off the prop and just money line Schiro. Plus 230, underdog, Gracie, minus 270. I got to go with Schiro to pull this thing off. I think he can do it. Schiro to win by KO TKO is plus 500. By decision is plus 655. He's completely being slept on. Neiman Gracie's very overrated. The best fighters he's fought in Bellator, he's lost to. The Jason Jacksons, Logan Storley, Goichi Yamuchi. Like I said, the biggest win is John Fitch. An aged John Fitch, who is not near the level that he once was. Schiro gets it done. I'm riding with him to win this bout. I like this underdog a lot. I'm excited for this one because the odds are way wrong on that fight. Let's get to the main card. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you're new, subscribe. Hope you guys are enjoying the breakdown. Bringing the heat with Bellator 290. It's a special event. You guys know I had to bring the heat. Sabah Homasi's the pick over Brennan Ward, but I really like Brennan Ward. This is a great fight. Both these guys throw caution to the wind and are going to go to war against one another. I think this is the fight of the night. Bellator, I don't think they do the fight of the night bonuses. They don't do it. I know for a fact they don't. They should. With this fight, they're going to deserve it. Sabah Homasi's in some of the greatest fights, man. Like, you remember that Paul Daly fight? That's Bellator's fight of the year for that year. Back and forth chaos. His power is real. He's on a tremendous run right now. His physical strength is incredible. Brennan Ward is a good, scrappy fighter, a fun guy to watch. He brings the heat. He's got a beautiful story coming back, from the drug addiction to now being clean and fully focused on cage fighting. But he's not going to win this bout, man. Sabah Homasi's going to knock him out. Brennan Ward's going to throw caution to the wind, as will Sabah, but he'll be more calculated. Ward sometimes will throw these hooks, and he's so off balance for that second. Sabah could come inside, and the overhands he have, thudding overhands. The overhands he has are thudding, and he's going to land the shot on Ward's chin, and I think he flatlines him. I'm going Homasi KO in a fight that is going to be all action until the very end. It's kill or be killed on both sides, and I think the killer this time out is going to be Sabah Homasi. I think he gets his hand raised and beats Brennan Ward. He's been beating pretty decent guys. You look at Ward on the opposite side. I mean, you look at the win. The first one, Brendan Bell, 10-10. Come on. Cassius Kane, 12-7. Come on. Meka Mendoza, good LFA guy. Good prospect. Jaleel Willis was thought of as being somebody to watch in Bellator for a while. Sabah Homasi manhandled him. Homasi's going to manhandle Ward. And it wouldn't blow my mind if Homasi can actually get to Ward in the grappling too. I know Ward's got the wrestling base, but don't doubt Sabah Homasi anywhere. Sabah's the pick with high confidence. I think he gets this one done. As far as the odds, minus 188, Sabah, plus 166 for Ward. Looking at the KO prop, I'll bring it up, plus 115. Homasi by sub, plus 525. The value's there, and I think it's possible. He could lock up a sub, but it's probably a lot less likely. I think knockout's more likely. Fight ends inside of the distance, minus 550. Under 2.5, minus 390. Under 1.5, minus 180. I think it probably does go under 1.5, but I'd rather just money line Sabah Homasi and pick a side. I think he's going to win this thing, and I think it's going to be by a KO in an action-packed fight. Either way, win or lose for Brendan Ward, tremendous story, and he'll be around in Bellator for a while. He's super entertaining. Cannot wait to see these two throw down. This is going to be the sleeper fight of the night. It's going to steal the show. This is going to be the matchup. Cannot wait for these guys to get a big chance like this on CBS. Let's get to the co-main. Johnny Eblen versus Anatoly Tokov. I got to ride with Johnny Eblen to win. I'm picking him. And something that's so disappointing is Bellator has really not marketed Tokov well. He was on the prelims in his last fight. Your number one contender's on the prelims in his last fight? Not a good look. I think Tokov is dangerous. He's got good wrestling, pretty solid stand-up. He's a very physically fucking strong guy. He's jacked. Secret juice type jacked. Johnny Eblen on the side is just, he's the human cheat code. I like that nickname because he's so slick. He's got a wrestling base, a tremendous one. He's got serious knockout power. He's got great combination punches. He moves really well. He closes the gap tremendously. I think Johnny Eblen is a monster. I like when they call him the Korean Canelo. Maybe you should bring that one back for this one. I'm picking Johnny Eblen and still champion of the world. He's going to be forced into a tough fight with Tokov, but he'll win it. He'll probably take it 4-1, maybe even 5-0. I'm going to go Johnny Eblen to win a decision. He proved a ton against Gegard Mousasi, and he beats Tokov here, who's a very experienced opponent. And that's going to be a great win to have on the resume for Johnny Eblen, who I think is in his prime right now. He looks fantastic. He's looking better each fight. Eblen's a big favorite, minus 235. He deserves the tag. That's the OV on the opposite side, Tokov. If you're going against Eblen, that cancels out because he's top caliber. Eblen, like I said, big favorite, minus 235. I guess not a huge favorite, pretty good size favorite. Tokov plus 220. I like Eblen's chances, man. I don't really love the prop betting at all. I'll just read off decision for Eblen. He could get a finish, but I'm thinking decision. And that's also my respect for Tokov's well-rounded game. Plus 150, best value, Eblen by a decision. If you're going to throw down, I would rather just money line it or put Eblen in a parlay. Yeah, I don't love the idea of the prop bets in this one. Because it's not impossible he gets a knockout or even crazy enough locks up a sub. It's just a lot less likely. So I'll say decision most likely. So if you're looking for a prop that's most likely, not to the value side, and I don't think it's great value, but it is plus money, Eblen. Eblen money line. He's going to win this fight. Decision. Should be an interesting matchup. I think he defends the belt, and Johnny Eblen's got a really bright future in mixed martial arts. Let's keep running the main event of the evening. If you guys haven't, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You watched their first fight, and you know exactly what happened. It was a wide lead hook by Ryan Bader that put Fedor's lights out. How's it going to go this time? Well, I want to bring up a couple concerns I have on Bader's side real quick. He was knocked out twice since that fight. Brutally knocked out. Vadim Nemkov, KO. Corey Anderson, KO. Ryan Bader has been taking a very safe approach to fights, mixing in the wrestling, controlling these guys, beating an old Czech Congo. Moldavsky, I'll be honest, I thought Moldavsky could have got that decision. I didn't love that decision. Not saying it was a robbery, but I could see it going towards Moldavsky's side. Fedor's looked like a killer since that fight. 2 KO wins. You look at the last one, I mean, he beat Tim Johnson, who's not an easy guy to knock out. God damn, I think I'm going with Fedor. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm going Fedor Emelianenko to pull this off. I think he's going to knock Ryan Bader out, man. I think he's going to have Bader a bit gun-shy on the feet. He's going to feel tentative unless he just lands another picture-perfect punch. But what are the odds of that? It could happen. But Fedor, I think if Bader tries to go, the route he's been with mixing in the wrestling, taking these guys down, I think Fedor Emelianenko stops those attempts. And in the very short range, Fedor Emelianenko carries a tremendous amount of power. Something that goes last, what is it? Power. The chin is not great of Fedor at this point, for sure. How good is Ryan Bader's chin at this point? Has he been hit by an absolutely clean strike? He hasn't fought a power puncher. Fedor Emelianenko has serious sting. And I think he can knock out Ryan Bader. If they're striking, there's a legitimate chance that Fedor flatlines him. I'm going to go out on a whim. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go Fedor Emelianenko by KO. He beats Ryan Bader. He rides off into the sunset as the Bellator heavyweight champion and causes madness amongst that division. Fedor Emelianenko for the win. I'm calling it. He's going to beat Ryan Bader. Plus 285, Emelianenko. Ryan Bader, minus 300. It's a very against the grain pick. Is the Fedor legacy blurring my vision? Maybe. Maybe. We shall find out. But I'm going Fedor by knockout. KO win, Emelianenko, plus 325. I got to ride with the GOAT. I think they're thinking it's going to be too easy for Ryan Bader, who is not the best guy in Bellator. Baddest man on the planet is supposed to be the heavyweight champ. The baddest man in Bellator is supposed to be the heavyweight champ. It's not. It's Vadim Nemkov. And Corey Anderson, who's the #1 contender at that weight class, also fucked Ryan Bader up badly. Fedor Emelianenko, he's going to need just a couple of opportunities. He will land with precision and win by knockout. And if Ryan Bader is any bit gun-shy, any little mistake, sometimes he comes in, and I don't know, I feel the chin is there to be hit, and that's why he was knocked out against a Corey Anderson early. Fedor needs just one. He's got the power to do it. I'm going to ride Fedor Emelianenko to shock the world. Guys, how crazy is Bellator 290? And I probably finish it out with the most wild pick of all time. Bellator bringing the heat, though. I'm going to be live for this card. I'm doing the fight companion for it. Cannot wait. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. I told you guys I'd bring you the Bellator full card. Make sure you smash the likes if you're new, subscribe. Definitely let me know what you think of the picks in the comments. Drop a W in those comments too, just to support, and boost that algorithm a little bit if you don't have anything to say. I appreciate you all for watching. Like I said, Fight Companion, I'll be live for this card. Make sure to tune in, and then right after, we're doing a UFC Fight Companion, so you got back-to-back live streams from me this weekend. Looking forward to it, though. Much love, my people. I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.